Hello everyone and welcome to another Top 5 Records video, and today I'm going to be discussing the new album by Beyoncé, Cowboy Carter. Now, Cowboy Carter is part 2 of a trilogy which started with this one, Renaissance. And Renaissance is an incredible album. So one might say a tough act to follow, yes. But the thing is, and that's interesting about this one, Cowboy Carter has been announced as mostly a country album. Now, this statement has been nuanced by Beyoncé before its release. She says there are country influences, yet it will be a Beyoncé album. Now, that sounds very interesting, but does she make that statement true? And what does it mean? Country influences, but a Beyoncé album. Today is the release of the album, and I now fully understand what that means. Cowboy Carter opens with the track American Dream, which has this beautiful gospel harmony. It's an epic opening. It sounds really cool, really smooth. And you immediately get the sense that this is an element of American history. This might even be an element of her youth. And then you have this gospel element, but there are these steel guitars that start playing and a beautiful, nice, tight acoustic rhythm guitar. And at that moment, and it's about 1 or 2 minutes into the record, I thought, yeah, I kind of understand what you're doing. It's not just the country that's being explored here, it's an overall roots element. If you take a look at the cover with Beyonce riding riding a horse in white cowboy suit, yeah, there's a very strong influence of country here, and country shines through at a lot of given moments. But there are more of these American roots elements which make her redefine this album. As a matter of fact, this album has songs which are very clearly country songs, but there's something about Beyonce which makes her redefine what country means, at least to her, but also to me as a listener. And I am a country fan. Seriously, I'm a country fan, and I haven't heard this sincere, awesome country tracks in years. It's new, it's fresh, and she really gets to her own roots in a certain way. It does not sound like somebody who's just trying to explore and develop country and things like, oh, this is what country sounds like, I'm going to imitate it. No, she really gets to the essence in the way she describes an environment, a moment in time, a surrounding, and what it means. She understands country lyrics, but she also understands, well, let's say, her audience. She understands this time. She understands what her voice can do. And she has these gorgeous melodies. I mean, after the opening track of American Dream, we get into Blackbird, which, in my opinion, is tough territory. I'm a Beatles fan. And the backing track seems to be almost the same as the original White Album version by the Beatles. But, and that's the interesting thing here, Blackbird was written by Paul McCartney as a tribute to female civil rights protesters. So she's putting that song in there because Cowboy Carter has an overall, well, storyline might be the wrong word, but there's a concept in there. She does make it her own. Does she beat the original Blackbird? I don't think so. There's an element there that I don't really like. She's doing a good vocal. There are some nice harmonies in there, but the vocals are mixed way up higher than the original backing track. So she kind of shifts the old one to the back, which is okay. It's a fine. It's a good rendition. But me as a Beatles fan, it doesn't go beyond the original Blackbird. But it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter because it's part of a concept. It's part of an idea, and I get really involved. It's a very interesting second step, and she shows us that she has a lot to say with this album, and that's what's going on. This record is constantly exploring what she can do with these country and roots influences. We get to moments like Smoke Hour or Dolly P. Smoke Hour has a star and says Willie Nelson. Dolly P obviously references Dolly Parton. Now, they are all involved in this album, but in a different manner than these are not duets. Smoke Hour is the changing of a radio station, so it's a very short track. And we go past uh, again American roots songs. There's a blues song coming along. There's a rock and roll song coming along. It's like she's searching the right channel on the right station to find the history of America there. And then there is Willie Nelson introducing you or welcoming you to the record. And there's a lot of welcoming being done on this album, which is really interesting. Same thing counts for the song Dolly P or the track Dolly P. It's Dolly Parton, well, giving her blessing in a certain way. And not only that element of Dolly Parton is here, Dolly Parton has been campaigning for years to get the song Jolene covered by Beyoncé. And that is interesting because Beyonce applies or replies or does this, but she does something interesting. Now, I think Jolene is one of the most brilliant written tracks ever. I could say the same thing about Blackbird. But here, Beyonce changes the lyrics. Um, she changed the lyrics in the sense that the original Jolene is a plead by somebody who thinks she is unworthy, perhaps even unworthy. No, unworthy might not be the right word. Um, she knows the other woman is more beautiful, and she pleads, she begs her, "Please don't take my man." But Beyonce changes the lyrics. She's threatening that woman. She does acknowledge the beauty of that woman, but she's like, "Oh, hell no, you are not going to be touching my man." Which, of course, is also a very interesting reference to her own past and things that have been going on. And I really like that touch at the most um, unsuspected moments. She does things to make the genre, the American history, the music, and even lyrics of classics her own. I am really intrigued by what she's doing, her artistry, and overall, this is such an eclectic album. I mean, I can go on. There are loads of gorgeous, gorgeous tracks. There's a beautiful duet with Miley Cyrus called "Ill Most Wanted." There's a lot of uses of the two sign because this is Act Two. So River Dance has two eyes. Levi's jeans has two eyes. There's a lot of two eyes. So I'm gonna pronounce it in the right as good as possible. But this Miley Cyrus track, this is a straight on country pop like ballad, and it is just, I mean, it's not as eccentric as a lot of the tracks out there, but it's plain, straight on, beautiful, a very, I mean, soft, gorgeous track. And these two do a great duet. Miley Cyrus is very good here. There are more moments. I can go on. Romy Carter. It sounds like it's like that, like it's a personal tale from her past, and she knows how to create both with lyrics and with music this element of a past, her past, some past, but she draws me to the place, to the spot, and she's telling me what she's seeing, what she's experiencing. And this really reminds me of stuff like Chris Christopherson's work, of Willie Nelson's work. Um, in that sense, there is so much country going on, yet nothing is as typical country as I've heard it before. This is really a reinvention of country. I really think this record is incredibly big. Now, it's not all only country. There is, for example, um, um, Bodyguard is more smooth, soft pop. Nice song. It does reference John Wayne, though. I mean, that's interesting when she leaves. When she's a bit more loose, or there's not a direct country influence, she does reference in lyrics. The song River Dance is more house. There's a line dancing element in there, so it's not pure country. It's constantly shaping and changing. Also, and that's interesting. There's a hip hop track there, Spaghetti 2 or Spaghetti Ill, whatever you would like to pronounce it. And it starts off with a quote: "Genres are a funny little concept. They have a simple concept, but in practice they are hard to confine. I'm paraphrasing here. Um, and that is basically what she's doing here. She's understanding the concept of country. She knows and she shows what she can do, but she makes it her own. And there are so many great songs. I talked about 16 Carriages and Texas Hold'em in another video. They fit in perfectly. These are great songs. Yeah, yeah, is really, really good. I mean, it creates so much anticipation. And yeah, yes, even I mean, it's track 20 or something like that. There's a song with Post Malone, Levi's Jeans. I mean, it's smooth, sexy, rhythm guitar ballad. Man, she's on fire. This album, and in the title, I have the question: is this Beyonce's masterwork? Yes, this is an eclectic country roots masterwork. I have This is my favorite Beyonce album. This is one of the highlights within the genre or the region of country for the last couple of years for me personally. And I'm already gonna nominate this as one of the best albums of 2024. Nominate, not giving it. I mean, year is not over, but this is tough competition for anyone who's going to release an album in 2024. This is good. So I'm curious, have you listened to it? What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave a comment below and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.